We're live. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. What's up, everybody? I got to get some AirPods. This is bothering me. What's up? Welcome to Dustin's Vinyl. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the one only show on Twitch that discusses vinyl records and full albums and all that fun stuff. It's been a crazy week for you Twitchies. I'm going to call you Twitchies. I hope you don't care. The GameStop thing, that was phenomenal. That is a crazy thing. It's amazing that a store that can't move Funko Pops is soaring against the evil empire of Wall Street, because of takeovers like the Robin Hood app and Reddit forums. They were able to just kind of be in the game and make all this money. It's amazing. Some kid living with his mom in her basement with pizza stain on his shirt is like in the game of stocks. I think I love it. And there's nothing funnier than rich people losing their money. I think it's just one of the greatest things ever. I just wish this technology, I wish we had foresight for businesses that we've lost, that I miss, like Blockbuster. I mean, that was the greatest store ever. And I wish we could somehow figure out a way to save or bring back Blockbuster. That would be amazing. I mean, I used to just love that place. Just to go in there, you hover around the corner, wait for somebody to return a good video, and that was good stuff. And then Radio Shack, the greatest place to buy batteries and a remote control car and something else you don't need. And of course, Sam Goody, one of the chain record stores. That'd be so great to go into a mall and see a record store. It's very hard to find one. So maybe you kids can figure something out and revitalize these stores. So very cool. Very excited. That's my opening experimental monologue up front. A random pick of the day in honor of Black History Month, because I'm not a racist. I voted for Biden. I'm going to pull the Sam Cooke. This is Sam Cooke album. If you don't know Sam Cooke, there's no excuse for it. Sam Cooke is one of the greatest singers of all time. One of the greatest just songwriters and singers. He's really sensational. And there's a new movie out, I believe, on Amazon, A Night in Miami, with Muhammad Ali, Jim Brown, and Malcolm X. And it also features Sam Cooke as one of the main characters. So maybe you hear the name if you're younger and you don't know who this is. But just a great album. This has all the hits. My favorite song, Don't Know Much About History, Don't Know Much About Biology, all those great hits. Just a voice that nobody could really match. Just a very soulful, poppy voice. He was a little weird. Like, I think during concerts, he would get mad at people for dancing because it wasn't like a dance song in his head. But then when people heard it, they couldn't help but move. So I get it. People dance during my stand-up a lot. But this is a great album. So get you some Sam Cooke. This is Sam Cooke, RCA album. It's a really sweet album. And I want you to explore some Sam Cooke in your life. And one hack tip before I bring up my wonderful co-host. A lot of people have emailed me about buying records, thrift records at flea markets and Salvation Armies and Goodwills. And a lot of times they're flimsy and they skip. So I've invested in one of these. This is a balance equalizer for your vinyl records. You can get them on Amazon. You want to get one that weighs about 11 ounces because the weight goes heavy on the vinyl record and it just keeps it from moving and skipping. So if you get a great find and it's a little warped, this is a great thing to put on your turntable. So life hack, album hack, vinyl hack by Dustin Chafin. So make sure you get one of these and get those cheap records, because I buy cheap records all the time, and then there's like one song that I love and it skips and it drives me insane. So that's a good way to deal and remedy that situation. So I've done a lot up top, so I might as well bring in my wonderful, amazing rock and roll co-host. It's his birthday, Jeffrey Paul, everybody.
What is up?
That was a mouthful.
Hey.
Huh? What's going on?
Dustin Chafin. How are you?
I'm good. You like Sam Cooke? You a Cooke fan?
You send me
Oh, that's a good
kidding.
song. Yeah.
He is great. Yeah. He
Great.
has like that sweet soul voice.
Oh, yeah.
When I look at the great soul singers, obviously James Brown, but I love Otis Redding. I think he had that. So, but Sam Cooke was poppy. He was sweet. He was catchy. You cannot go wrong putting on some Sam Cooke. That's 100% sure, man. He's great.
Yeah, it's just some of these guys who just have these distinguished voices that, like Al Green, like there's just certain, just great singers like that. But yeah, he's definitely a guy that still holds up, really good stuff.
And the song that you brought up is, that's a song that I forget about. And then when I hear it, like I want to hear it again. I love it. Great song.
Really good song. So yeah, there's a lot of good songs on here. What's up, birthday boy? What are you doing? Huh? Feeling good?
Yeah,
32?
No.
What's happening?
Yeah, I'm 20. I'm 27 again.
Wow, you've done a lot of drugs.
Yeah. And yeah.
Do you ever drink water? Holy shit.
Go on, I don't look like a mummy.
If you were 22, you were 20 something, you would. Yeah.
No. I was out in the cold. This is from being in the cold for 3 days shoveling snow.
Wow, that was a bad snow. I had no idea.
Oh, that sucked. That sucked. Hey, I also want, before we get started, I just wanted to thank people. I put up a poll asking people to send in requests. And so we're getting quite a few requests.
Nice.
Keep sending them in. We will definitely, there's a couple of them that, I didn't remember that I would love to do that album. So you guys are sending some great requests. Keep doing that as well. But let's talk about today's featured album. And since it is my birthday, I wanted to pick one of my favorite bands. We'd already done Black Sabbath. So my other band is Iron Maiden. And if you're going to do Iron Maiden, let's start with the third studio album for Iron Maiden. But in a lot of Maiden people's heads, this is where it starts. Okay. The March 1982 release of Number of the Beast. And it's interesting in a lot of ways. One, prior to 82, the band is about to take off, and they had a different lineup. But the most obvious difference was lead singer. They had Paul Di'Anno. And if you listen to the first two Maiden albums, Iron Maiden and Killers, it's not the sound that is on this album. It's more of it's a hard, punky type of sound. Songs like Murderers in the Rue Morgue, Iron Maiden, songs like that. Those songs, you could see the evolution that's about to happen. And that's what's going to happen here. You're starting to see Maiden about to take off, go in a different direction. And if you listen to the way Paul Di'Anno sings, he's a good singer. But if you listen to the way Bruce Dickinson sings, he's on the Mount Rushmore of singers, of heavy metal singers. There are maybe 4 or 5 guys who are in his league. This is one of the best of all time. Did you get a chance to listen to the album?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Iron Maiden. I think I respect them. I think they're one of the greatest rock heavy metal bands, but not a huge fan. I feel like it's one of these bands that have been in my life forever. Big 8th grade band. I feel like it's a big kind of a generational band as well. I feel like a lot of us are so etched in our minds, the image of Eddie from Iron Maiden. And, I'd listen to a few songs, and I just, I kind of went another direction with my metal, and it's just kind of like I feel the same way you feel about AC/DC, Brian Johnson, where it's like I feel a lot of the music sounds the same to me and whatever. So I'm not exploring it like you are. So it was great to do this because I have a more of a respect for them by kind of really immersing myself into this album. And Bruce Dickinson is an amazing singer. I've seen him like do covers of Delilah, Tom Jones. Like the guy's voice is phenomenal. But yeah, speed rock like this is something that, I'm a more of a bluesy guy. So it's like, it's not something that I, unless I'm working out or stabbing someone, I feel like this music is a little much for me. And I don't mean to sound like an old man, but I feel like it's a lot. I felt like I kind of went another direction with music when this was big. And it's a great album. And I'm excited to talk about it with you because I enjoyed it. I just not a huge, Iron Maiden guy like you are. Like you really love them. And I think it's definitely good music, and they're masters at what they do. It's just not something I'm drawn to totally. You know what I mean?
I do. This album has my favorite song on it. I mean, if I had to go on a desert island, I could only bring one song, it'd be a song off this album.
Really?
Let's bring Adam in. Let's see what he has to say about this.
You might get a brain hemorrhage if you listen to a Maiden song over and over and over. I need something a little slower, man. If I got one song on the island,
I'm not listening to a slow jam.
I need something soothing. I'm not going to be revved up. What are you going to do? Revved up and hump a palm tree? What are you going to do? Like what are you going to do with all that energy? You're on a deserted island.
I'm going to swim my way off.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, you're going to have a heart attack.
Because I'll tell you something. When I was younger, right, I used to play hockey, and I'd before the game, I'd lace up, and put on my equipment, and I would be listening to headphones. I'd be listening to this album. And there's a song on this album that would get me so charged that if Mike Tyson was on the other team and he wanted to fight me, I would have fought him. I would have lost, but I would have been so pumped that like I would have taken on all comers. This would just get me out of my mind. Adam, what did you think of this album?
I mean, this is an album that just gets you fired up, and just what Dustin was saying before. I mean, there's really with Maiden, there's a time and place, and I didn't really get into Maiden until it was a few years ago when I went to see them at a Prudential Center with Ghost opening, and I was just absolutely blown away.
Was that Book of Souls tour?
I think it might have been.
I
think it was maybe 3 years ago, or.
Yeah, it was the only tour that they didn't do "Hallowed Be Thy Name," which is my favorite song.
Yeah, I saw them open for Sabbath at PNC Arts Center, and they were phenomenal. Like, just it was just. I mean, Sabbath had a hard time.
The phenomenal players.
Like they switched that real quick, because I don't think that lasted very long. Maiden opening for Sabbath, I think that was like about maybe 6 shows, and they were like, okay, we should figure something else out.
a lot of bands fell into that same thing. Yeah. They would take Maiden on tour with them because Maiden has probably one of the most devoted followings in music.
Absolutely.
You could put them anywhere and they're going to sell out. And
he still sounds great too. It's 60, whatever. He still sounded amazing. So yeah.
I saw them on their last tour. This is where the shirt's from. Okay, in 2019, the Legacy of the Beast tour, and I've seen literally thousands of concerts. This had to be in my top 5. One of the best set lists I've ever seen, and this guy can still sing, and he doesn't auto-tune, and there's no backing tracks. This guy they're all phenomenal.
Why you got to keep bringing up Kiss again, man?
I love Kiss.
I'm
Kiss,
kidding.
But
no, he is amazing. He really is.
Musically, they're not Maiden. No one is.
Of course. Well, I mean, musically, there's a lot, but this guy's voice, I think, is what makes this band stand out. And the guitar is great too, but it's the voice.
When you look at great like heavy metal singers, I look at guys like Rob Halford. I look at Ronnie James Dio, Jeff Tate from Queensryche.
You really like dudes that sound like chicks, right? You like that high pitch.
I like guys who, it's something I could never do.
I'm the opposite. I like a Lemmy, a Johnson. I like a growly, a Pantera. Right. Like I like a growly heavy metal singer. Like it's interesting. You like a lot. I notice a lot of your bands: Rush, Maiden, Queen. You love that high pitch. Guys wearing really tight jeans. Yeah, I like a guy that's got that cigarette kind of whiskey voice. I like
Do you
a
like
little
Paul Rodgers?
I don't know if I know
Paul Rogers from Bad Company.
Oh yeah. I like Bad Company. Sure, Molly Hatchet. I grew up with that stuff. So yeah,
Robert Plant. Did you like Robert Plant?
Of course, yeah. You know, I like Robert Plant. We talked about it.
Yeah. Well, I love Molly Hatchet.
I just don't know the name.
Underrated band. But let's talk about that. You know, with this album, Number of the Beast, and it's from here because sometimes Maiden is referred to as the Beast, and it came from this album. And like I said, in 81, this band's about to take off, and their manager and producer at the time, which is Martin Birch, kind of felt that Di'Anno, he wasn't going to be able to keep up with the evolution of this band. And, Di'Anno was also a bit of a boozer, and they felt it was time to make a change. And they wind up getting Bruce Dickinson, who was out of a band called Samson. And, he was known in England to be this amazing singer. They just had no commercial success. And Steve Harris, who's the principal songwriter, he's the bass player in the band, just really, he calls him up, asks him to be in the band. He goes, "When's the audition?" He's like, "There is no audition. If you want the gig, you're in." I mean, they've been wanting for years. And, he goes in, and now Bruce comes in and he writes 3 memorable songs on the album: Children of the Damned, A Prisoner, and Run to the Hills, but can't get any writing credit for those songs because he's in a contract dispute with Samson. So he's not credited for writing these songs, but they're still iconic songs, and he writes them. And the great thing about this album, 5 weeks to from recording to completion.
Wow, that's great.
And we see that a lot in a lot of these older albums. When we looked at what was it, Sabbath, where they did it within a week and a month, the whole thing was over with when we did the first Black Sabbath album.
Yeah, no, it's a great album, and Dave Murray's an amazing guitarist. I think a little bit of it had to do with I don't love the artwork Eddie thing. I think when I was a kid that turned me off. I was like, what?
Why? I think that's how a lot of people found them.
Yeah.
I like to see a band. I like to see the faces. I don't know. I'm just the people person, Jeff. I don't. I get a little ghouls freak me out, man. I can't. It's like Before I could barely get through Game of Thrones when the zombie people were coming. I was like,
Before this album, me and my friends, we would go, we were kids. We'd take a bus into the city and we'd go down to Bleecker Bob's, which was on West 3rd Street.
Sure, great record store. Yeah.
And we go through the records, and then we always ask, "Hey, what's new? What just came out?" And I remember him showing us this album cover. It was it wasn't this album; it was the album before, Killers. And you're like, "Whoa, that looks really cool." And I remember that day picking up Killers, Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. Remember the first one? Yeah. And I forgot what the other records were, but those 2 stood out. But I remember. Do you remember, one thing that this generation will never know is just how important album art was?
Sure. Yeah. I was talking about Molly Hatchet, whatever. I love a good album art, I just, for some reason, I don't know. And I was at the concert. He came out. Eddie was there. He was. Yeah,
Eddie would come out.
It's talk about props. I mean, these guys go all out. So I don't know. It's a bit much. I don't think they need it. That's the thing. This is a band that could have just been showed up and this is who we are. And but there wasn't, I guess there wasn't heavy. Well, there were. I mean, that's when MTV videos were coming out. I'm sure Run to the Hills was a big video at the time. But
it was, and I'm glad you brought that up because I figured that's a song that you would like.
Actually, no, that's not my favorite. I mean, it's a Native American thing with the Cree Indians and stuff, and so I respect that he's doing a song like that. But there's another song that's actually my favorite. I mean, that's a great song. Don't get me wrong, but there's actually another song that's my favorite. But I love the idea of that song.
Let's talk about Run to the Hills first, since it's on the table. Yeah, this was actually the first single from the album, and it just goes to show the depth of the band. They're just not writing about drinking and rock and roll and chicks, man. They're writing about colonization of America, which I think is pretty cool. And they reference 2 parts of history. I'm a history guy, so they reference first European colonization, and then they reference the American Great Plains and the Indian American Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty deep. I mean, you got to think about it too. I mean, a lot of the hair bands and things that were, kind of songs that were out in the '80s, and kind of Poison, and bands that basically sang about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And these guys were actually taking historical stuff and making it part of the song. I think it's great. Yeah, absolutely. People need to know more about this stuff.
Do you know this song?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
you like it?
I mean, this is one of my favorites. Going into,
like
this is.
Do you like it? Do you like that? Do you like that song? Your follow-ups are hilarious, Jeff. Go ahead.
Great drumming on it too. Clive Burr, last album he recorded with them.
Didn't they go through a few drummers though? There was quite a few.
No, it was Clive Burr, and then now it's Nico McBrain.
Okay, so just 2 drummers. Okay.
Yeah. So what was your favorite song off this?
My favorite song?
Yes.
Let's see. What's that? A Circa one? What is that? 22.
22. That's a great song.
Acacia Avenue.
Acacia Avenue. Yeah, that was. There's it's got a lot going on. There's even a bluesy kind of, like, even the solo has a little kick blues to it. I just enjoyed it. It's a very long song. It jams out, like it's got a lot, highs and lows, and it's just all over the place. Very complex metal song. I love it. I think
it changes tempo several times, and that's actually a theme on this album as well. How many times they different music breaks and different tempos in the song. Mm-hmm. This song was written by one of the guitarists. This was Adrian Smith, who wrote this when he was like 18, 19 years old, and it was like one of his first garage bands called Urchin. And what's his name? Steve Harris saw them and said, always like that song. And so when he was invited into the band, he was like, could we record it? And the song they were going to change the title because, it's about a prostitute, that they would actually go to, and they got the address, and that's they put this address down. Whether it's the real address or not, who knows? But they were going to call it Charlotte the Harlot, and because that was like supposedly the name of the woman who they would go see.
Do we have anybody that has any Maiden comments in the Twitch?
Yeah, Ishlash is I'm going to Run to the Hills is my favorite.
Solid song, man.
Yeah, Jay Dieselot says that album art is called a YouTube thumbnail now.
Yeah.
Nothing mean. Don't read the mean ones.
Right.
I don't know if we discussed that. Yeah, my ego can't handle it. So yeah, no, I think a lot of the youth, a lot of people, have like resurgence, into Maiden fans, and because of the artwork, I think had a lot to do with kind of like younger kids getting into it. I see shirts everywhere. A lot of times I see somebody wearing a Maiden shirt, I'm like, you don't know who they are. But I think because it's very pop. At one time, people were just you see girls wearing them and stuff, and you wonder if they know.
Well, they look cool. Look at this.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good
cool,
shot
man.
of it. Good shot of it.
You look like you work at a car wash, but it looks good on you.
What car?
What I mean? Come on, I'm just saying.
You almost baited me into saying something. I'm not going to go there.
You can say it, whatever you want. So we talk. I worked at a car wash. Yeah.
Where Maiden has a lot of fans is in South America. A lot of Mexicans love Maiden. They play Brazil.
Mexicans love
every
metal.
year.
Yeah.
And that is like, their like home stadium. They'll play at Rio de Janeiro, and they'll play in front of like almost 200,000 fans. And like everyone is wearing a Maiden shirt, and everyone knows all the words, and they know when to pump their fist, during a song like Revelations, which is off of Peace of Mind is the album after this.
See, I have a problem with that. I think that's the one band that you should not wear the shirt to the concert. Like, I feel that's
wrong. Wrong. You wear a Maiden shirt to a Maiden concert. It's a band that you can.
Obviously, I know that's how you feel. The things that rile you up is unbelievable. You wear that shirt at Maiden, but you can't wear
that shirt. You do wear that shirt.
What are they? Russian Maiden? That's the only two, or I forget.
Yeah, I think it was Russian Maiden. And
Yeah, you
Russian
have such
Maiden,
weird
yeah.
rules. Yeah. Okay.
We could expand it. If you want to wear a Kiss shirt to a Kiss, because Kiss Army, I'll give you that.
Come on, man.
I'll give you that.
Okay.
But you're not wearing an AC/DC shirt to an AC/DC.
Why not?
Because
I can wear AC/DC. Yeah, who cares? I wore an AC/DC shirt.
No.
Yes, I can.
You
Nobody
could wear
cares.
a Who shirt to an AC/DC concert.
Oh, stop it. I wore an AC/DC t-shirt. It was great.
I just picked some
Nobody
arbitrary band that he can wear.
Metallica? Are you trying to tell me you can't wear Metallica? Because everybody does.
No.
Everybody's wearing Metallica shirts.
No,
okay.
It's a rookie mistake.
Right. We've already covered this with our listeners. So go
let's
ahead.
talk about my favorite song of this album. It's my favorite song, I think, of all time, is Hallowed Be Thy Name. It's got one of the greatest bass lines. A lot of Maiden stuff is a gallop. It's like bump, 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 bump. It's that.
Like you're riding a horse. Yeah, it's great.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. But this song starts off with where Dickinson is just singing with the bell, and it's slow, and he's telling the story. When they wrote this song, it was telling a movie in a song, and it's about a prisoner, about to be executed. He's about to get hung. And when you hear the song, and when you hear the sounds, and you hear the bell, and the way Bruce fucking connects with everything he's saying, okay, you could see that visual happening, and then it just like takes off, and it's just so insanely great.
This song is great. It's very haunting. I feel like this is the song. This is a song that kind of matches the cover. Like if you were to put a song with the cover, I feel like it kind of like it tells the story through the song. Like it definitely, and it's such a good build, and and they build nice. They just like the songs just really get to
like 22 Acacia Avenue, which also builds very nicely.
Yeah,
very true. Here was something I thought was kind of interesting about this album. The title track, "The Number of the Beast." You've heard the beginning of it. It's a religious poem, okay? And what I found out was Steve Harris, when he wrote the song after having a nightmare after watching the movie Damien, Omen 2, and so they wanted to open up with this scary poem. They wanted Vincent Price to read.
Sounds just like him. Who did they get?
They wound up getting an English actor named Barry Clayton, because
I thought it was him.
No, Vincent Price wouldn't do it because he wanted $25,000, and at the time, Maiden, I guess didn't have it in their budget. They didn't want to pay that kind of money, so they got this very experienced English actor. And I think what was interesting about it. Okay, this is 1982. Was it 5 years later? Thriller comes out.
Yeah, I mean he got paid for that. He got more than 25 grand for that. Yeah.
Although Eddie got nothing to do a guest spot on to do the lead on "Beat It."
Really? He didn't. He didn't need it, and it helped him, I think, get a crossover fan base.
I think that's why he did it. And plus, he said he always said he wanted to work with Michael Jackson. Yeah, but I mean, "Number of the Beast." This is where it starts with the whole thing with the Beast, and it's again. This is also one of the songs like. It's "Number of the Beast," "Run to the Hills," and "Hallowed Be Thy Name," which has been in their set list, for every tour since this album came out. These are like staples of the
such a great band and a good album. It's just. But like I said, maybe I'm getting too old for bands like Maiden. I mean, even like my favorite band, Motorhead. It's like I got to be in the mood to listen to one of my favorite bands. Like I just feel like it's just it's just one of those bands that you just want to get you up. So you got to be in the mood for that. But it's good. It's a great band. I enjoyed it.
When you're driving, what do you
you drive a lot? Like I don't have I take the freaking. I'm not listening to Maiden on the subway. I'll end up getting in a fist fight. Like it's don't ask me for money. Like that's the thing. I think that has a big difference. That's an interesting point where I think when you drive a lot, your music choice is probably a little different than somebody who's in their living room a lot listening to music. I have the speakers and the record player. Like that's how I listen to my music. Like you're in your car probably most of the time you're listening to music. And so, driving bands are probably going to be more in your, queue, if you will, than, probably more chill bands, right? Am I wrong? I don't know.
No, you're 100% right, because like when there was road gigs and you were able to travel, if I could drive it, I prefer to drive as opposed to taking a plane. So if I'm going to Ohio or North Carolina or something like that, I would prefer to drive.
Yeah,
so when I do drive,
it's great.
Yeah, I'll throw on this. I'll throw on Smashing Pumpkins. I'll throw on Sabbath. I like music that gets me like revved up.
And that's what's great about streaming services too, where Spotify is amazing, because I think the first show we talked about this, where I listened to all of Led Zeppelin. Like I was going to Columbus, Ohio. I listened to in chronicle order, and it was like, it was great. And I would love to do that with a bunch of bands, and it's perfect when you're driving, because it's like you're not distracted, you're just driving down the road, you're not looking at your phone, so it's like you could really get into the music, and that is what's good. And this is definitely Maiden would get you to your destination a little bit faster.
And you're not, you
might get a speeding ticket at some point and fist fight the cop, but
you don't need coffee.
You don't need coffee.
I remember one time I was doing a show with Rich Carucci, and we were up in Rochester, and we went to Rochester that day, did the show, and drove back that night. I mean, that's a lot of time on the road, and it's a lot of like heavy metal, and but also it's good company as well. There's a bunch of real cool stuff on this album. And another thing that really I love about Maiden is just how much, especially Bruce Dickinson, man, he is such a cool dude, and how they are really influenced by movies, and they're like the song I'm referring to is I'm trying to talk about Children of the Damned, based on the movies Children of the Damned, or there was another one, Village of the Damned. That was it, Village of the Damned. And the idea to write a song like this came from a band that he loved. He loved Black Sabbath, and he loved Dio in Black Sabbath. And when he saw that they wrote a song called Children of the Sea, he was like, we could write something kind of like that. But it's a great song. It's a song with a lot of melody. And also, you talk about build-up. Great singing, great guitar. I mean, the whole band is so freaking tight, that I put them on again by themselves. I mean, they're so good.
No, they're really good. I think a lot of people miss a band like this because of the marketing. I feel like they're marketed towards a certain type of youth, and I feel it's unfortunate.
Guys,
I feel it's
There's
unfortunate.
no girls who go to these concerts, really.
and there should. I see girls wearing the t-shirts. Is it good?
Yeah, and they wear Def Leppard t-shirts, and they wear Motorhead.
You should see the line for the men's room at the Maiden shows.
It's like going to
right. I mean, they're all the bands you like are like that, Jeff. So Rush. It's all.
I told you, I'm Cobra Kai.
You are. I love it. Cobra Kai all the way. Adam,
we got Bugsying the Op saying speeding ticket music for Iron Maiden.
Fuck
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We got can you wear an NSYNC shirt to a Backstreet Boys concert?
Oh no, absolutely not.
But what you can do is listen to me. What you can do is you could take both shirts, tie them in a knot, and then put it around your neck. I'm kidding. I'm sure you're not fans. You're making fun of those bands as well. Is there any girls out there that like Iron Maiden? I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just curious. I would love it if there's any women, girls, that if you guys, and I'm not trying to be that old guy that thinks girls don't like rock. I just want to know, are there any girls out there that like Iron Maiden as a, speed metal, I don't know. Maybe there's some cool skater chick that's going to come in and get us canceled.
While we'll wait for maybe if a couple of girls want to come on and comment about this. What's weird about this album is the opening track. The opening track was not a song that they even were considering putting on the album. I don't know why they opened with Invaders. It's not a bad song, but Steve Harris was always like, I don't know. If we could replace it, if there's anything we have that's better, we will. And they just didn't have anything that they thought was better. And this was the opening track.
See, I don't even know
it's just a weird opening.
I don't even know the difference because I'm not as, involved in Iron Maiden. So to me, it just sounds fine. Like, it just sounds like, it's all fast, speed metal type stuff. So it's like, it's just, it works, it's as good as their third song, and maybe a couple of songs really stand out. But I think as a whole, it doesn't seem like it's off from a person that's just listening to it for the, first time or whatever.
Yeah. They're not fast. I mean,
they're pretty fast. That dude's fast, man. That dude has some finger skill, man. Dave Murray can fucking fly. He can fly on that fret. Let me tell you.
In the leads, yes. The leads, yes. But in the tempo of the songs, like when you look at what's the name? Metallica. What Metallica brought to the table is most songs are written in traditional 4/4 time. But then when you take a look at Metallica, it's double it. It's 8/8 time, and which a lot of bands couldn't do. And then eventually bands like Megadeth, which is an offspring of Metallica anyway, and Slayer and Anthrax, they start playing that heavy speed metal. Maiden is more melodic. When you listen to
because you're finding it and seeing it, just like with me, when I hear Brian Johnson AC/DC songs, they don't all sound the same. Like I am able to break them down. So it really depends on how much of a fan you are, because I don't get that when I listen to that's just fast. And there's some harmony there that happens when he goes into his vocals. But, it's just, I think it's like it's your stew that you love stirring in. So you see it. I don't see it. Like I don't really hear it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I've listened to this album. I mean, endless.
It's your jam. Yeah, it's your favorite music. You're able to find things other people can't find. That's why it becomes your favorite. That's what's the beautiful thing about music. Is like, it connects to people differently, and it's like people can find it. Because I could easily be like, this is just like Slayer or whatever, blah blah blah. But then it's like, you appreciate it more because you connected to it. But anyway, that's art, everybody. Why we need art in this country. Fund the art.
Did any women comment on a Maiden song or why they wear Maiden shirts?
Is my mom out there? What's going on?
See, we happy Miss Giff. No women here. You ran them off.
Old white guys. We have a tendency to do that. We ran them off with Maiden. Maiden, that's a surefire way to get rid of the chicks at the party. Just put on some Maiden. They will leave immediately. All right, Adam. Go ahead.
This is a great album. And overall, Adam, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's an incredible album. And, I mean, most of the time in the past couple of weeks when I was listening to it, it was either in the car or working out. But every time I listened to it, I was like, I just want to be in the woods, drinking beer around the bonfire, listening to this.
That's what it's like. That's what it brings me back to.
I don't know. Just don't do mushrooms and listen to this. I think Eddie might come haunt you.
No, that's for Pink Floyd. That's
2112. Exactly.
Yeah, right. That's kind of more my jam. Yeah, it's Pink Floyd in the woods. That's kind of where I'm headed.
But so that's Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast. Like I said, it's one of my favorite all-time albums, which has probably my favorite song of all time.
Great, and I appreciate you pulling that one, because I got to kind of explore it more than I would have normally. So it's a band that I know is good, and I know everybody loves them, but it's just I don't give them the listen they probably deserve. And I think it's that's what's great about this show, because you come up with stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I guess let me give this a more of a listen, because it's like you just miss it, and when it came out, it was, that's all junior high. It was just Maiden. I mean, the 82 or whatever. And I was kind of more leaning towards other things that were happening, Prince and stuff like that. But this was something that was definitely, it took over, all of, boys with the jean jackets and, the vest, jean jacket stuff, and the flannel boys and all that. I mean, it was just like a certain type of guy became a Maiden guy.
Did you say glamour boys?
No, I didn't. It's a certain type of boy. That's the opposite. Glamour boys is something completely different.
Glamour boys are fierce.
Folks, that's a callback if you watch the other show we did with Living Color.
I cannot listen to that song the same ever again,
I have the vinyl, and I was listening to it. That song came on and I was almost broke my record player. It's like I can't do it. All right, Adam, you're up, buddy. What do we got?
All right, well, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so who do you guys have?
The Chiefs, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs. Mahomes. I'm gonna go the young guys. So David and Goliath. I'm gonna go Mahomes. Yeah, Chiefs. Chiefs by 14. Agree. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I hope you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Who do you want, Adam?
I put a couple.
I mean, it's tough to bet against Brady, though. He always just seems to pull it.
He really does. Yeah, it's unbelievable. We all hate him, and he's still like just amazing.
Oh yeah,
like he's one of those guys. I know, and Jeff hates him. I don't hate him like Jeff does because I'm not. He was. I mean, Steve beat up on the Steelers for sure. Like he really kept us out of the playoffs forever. But Jeff really hates him, but you can't hate a guy that's 43 and playing like that. It's unbelievable. Like if anything, it's for anybody that's over 40. I mean, it gives you a little bit of youth back because you see what a guy like that can do. I mean, it's the year of old people. Brady, Biden, you know what I mean? Like it's,
right. Or it just makes you depressed though.
True. Well, it's going to keep a lot of teams, probably a lot of players still playing. Like I guarantee you, somebody like Roethlisberger, who's my guy, who's always, on the verge of retiring, sees what Brady did. And he's like, I'm only 37 and look what this guy's doing. So I think it's going to keep guys in it just a little bit longer than maybe they would have if nobody else was doing what he's doing.
I don't know if you guys saw this week that Brady came out with a statement that says he wants to play till he leaves 45.
I mean, he could probably play till he's 50. That's what you do when you don't eat nightshades. Like you don't eat tomatoes. You eat the tomato sauce. You can't play that long. That's what happened with Johnny Football. He ate too much tomato sauce.
If you watch Brady play this year, he lost nothing off of the way he could throw the ball. He can still throw the ball as hard as he's ever had. He can still put the ball, 40 yards in the air and accurate. You remember the touchdown pass to Scotty Miller in the NFC Championship game. That was a perfect throw. He's
what do you guys think out there? Who's going to win? By how much?
We got Brady all the way. We got the Chiefs. We got Tampa Bay. So it's about split right now.
Great.
I think that's pretty much like the way it's been in Vegas as well. The line opened up at 3 and really hasn't moved. It's gone up to 3.5. That's it. So that's really nothing.
Adam, you're pretty young, but do you ever remember the Chicago Bears Super Bowl shuffle?
Oh, of course.
Oh yeah. Okay. That was the greatest.
The Super Bowl shuffle is such a fantastic video too.
It's so funny. I mean, how cool is that? They before they were in the Super Bowl, they did this thing and, this whole song and the video was huge. It was a hit. My buddy, he's a vinyl collector, Tommy, and he bought that album. I was laughing at him. But
there's an album of it?
Yeah,
I think so. Single? Yeah. It's got like a bunch of other
It's
stuff.
expensive too, I think.
It is.
I saw it at the record store for like $60 or so.
Yeah. I think it's like 8 tracks. It's like I think Peyton's doing Mustang Sally. Like I think there's McMahon does a rap. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Yeah,
that should be for next week.
Yeah.
Figure out
This week we're covering the Super Bowl Shuffle album.
Right. Yeah.
We got Tampa Bay by 21.
By 21.
Wow.
Really? I'll take that bet. $5.
Any interest?
I don't think I'm allowed. I don't think I'm allowed to bet on Twitch. I'm going to get Twitch in trouble. It's like you can't do live betting on the show. We can't play music and we can't do live betting. So let's go to new music, Adam. What do you got,
All right.
buddy?
So the big one is the new Foo Fighters album, Medicine at Midnight.
Hell of a band.
Great band.
Yeah. So that'll be out Friday. We got the new Fleet Foxes Shore double LP. That's a pretty solid record. We got Bob Marley's Songs of Freedom, The Island Years, 6 LP box set. This one is the first time that this box set has been released outside of Jamaica.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I had a box set, CDs, kind of, I forget what it might have been Freedom. Was it just, I don't know. It was like 4 CDs in it, but
yeah, this one says it, so it's from Concrete Jungle through Redemption Song plus rare 12-inch mixes, B-sides, Jamaican singles, and alternates.
Nice.
And it's got a 20-page booklet with rare photos, essays, and track info too.
Love it. That sounds amazing. I might get that.
Yeah.
What is that? Does it have a price on that?
Let me see. I'm going to have to pop up Amazon, see how much.
Yeah, you don't have to.
128. 128.
Oh, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't be doing that one. I'll just listen to Legend by, that's enough. Get all the hits. We got actually we got a throwback to a couple shows ago. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue, reissued. Nice.
There we go.
Such a good album.
Yeah, and Miles Davis, Miles in Tokyo also is
that's coming out. His live stuff's amazing. I have Miles Davis in San Francisco. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, we got there's actually a lot of really good albums coming out this a lot of good reissues coming out this week. We got Jackson 5, The Ultimate Collection. Let's see.
That's my favorite. I love Jackson 5 better than Michael solo. Like, I love Jackson 5.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. One of my favorite songs of all time is on the Jackson 5 song too.
What song is that?
Love You Safe.
Love You Safe?
Love You Save. The Love You Safe. Love You Save.
I think it makes more sense. It should be called Love You Safe.
But another again,
Michael Jackson.
Another song with a great bass line.
Very good. Yeah, I just love all that funky Jackson 5 stuff. All right, what else?
Jay Dies a Lot says that Super Bowl Shuffle vinyl is $20 on eBay.
All right. Well,
there we
go. You saw it for 60. Here's the deal, guys. When you see that, for 20, you buy that album and you could go, you could probably sell it for 60 because, that's maybe it's all scratched.
I can't believe there are other tracks on that. What else are they singing about?
Adam, can you look up what other tracks are on there? Did they do a cover of Hurt? What's on there?
Let's see.
This is the Super Bowl Shuffle, folks. We're trying to get to the bottom of what is on that album besides the hit single Super Bowl Shuffle.
Yeah, Richard Dent goes on like he starts rapping about sackity sack.
Yeah, it's all football songs.
Because he's old time rapping.
Absolutely.
Gary Fensick is up there doing some George Strait covers, because he's a good old boy.
Terry Bradshaw released like a couple of country albums back in the day. He had
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a couple songs, a couple albums. Actually,
he's a singer.
Country singer. Yeah, he's got a great country voice. So country singing's different. You got an accent, you could probably pull off a country song. You may not sound like George Strait, but you could pull it off. You could pull it off.
Few do, my friend. I was just talking to someone about him the other day, man. How good a singer he is.
He is. I don't like watching him though. It's very boring, but man, he can sing. He just kind of stands there like he's waiting in line at the airport or something. But he's there's not a lot of magnetism to him. But he's a great singer. He's Amarillo by Morning is one of my favorite songs.
You were reading my mind.
It's a great.
That's
song.
Exactly great. Yeah. That's a song where that's all he has to do is just stand there and sing it, and it's still
It is. It's good.
Yeah, great song.
Anything else, Adam?
Yeah, well, here on Discogs, the track list for the vinyl only has 3 songs. It's the vocal mix, the extended vocal mix, and an instrumental mix. So
okay, maybe that's all that's on there. Okay,
oh, God.
All right. Well, somebody's paying $60 for those 3 songs. That's good for them. I think it's more of a
extended mixes of that stupid song.
I think it's more of a football memorabilia than vinyl memorabilia. You know what I mean? It's more of. That was a great team. One of the best teams. I mean, talk about a top 5 team. I mean, they had everything going for them.
One of the worst Super Bowls.
Running backs. Was it bad?
Oh yeah, they destroyed New England.
Well, that's good in a way.
Yeah,
We
that
always
was
love.
Steve
We always love
Grogan.
New England losing.
The Steve Grogan led, and that was remember William the Refrigerator Perry?
Was that where he ran it in?
That's where he ran in. I actually got a great picture of him, running in. It's 10 by 20, and I have him got him to autograph it for me.
Yeah, that's what the Steelers need. We need a bus, a big old boy, an Earl Campbell type, and somebody that can just smash through. That's every team needs that. Every team needs just a bulldozer that can go through the line when you need them. I think that's why. Was it Lynch? I think he's got a job again, right?
John Lynch?
No, not John Lynch. Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, Marshawn. No, he didn't play this year.
I thought somebody was trying to sign him for they were trying to. The Chiefs were trying. Somebody was trying. I didn't know if he got a job.
He's having a good time acting now.
No, he was trying to get back into football, dude. Look it up.
After this year?
He was. This year he tried.
Wow.
The people were talking because there was a rumor the Steelers were going to take him because we needed somebody that could just bust through a line because Connor couldn't do it. All right, folks. Any other vinyl questions out there? Any Iron Maiden football predictions, albums you want us to cover? How about that, guys? Twitchies, you got any albums you would like us to cover on the show? Let us know. You got a couple of minutes. We would love to hear any albums that are your favorites and that you would like us to dissect and listen to and talk about in a funny, humorous way.
Want me to give you some of the albums that people have suggested that we cover?
Well, let's see what Adam has first.
We got somebody said Weezer, which we already did Pinkerton.
We did Pinkerton. You should have been here for. I don't think we were on Twitch.
No,
then.
we weren't.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah. That was in. That was
Weezer's got they have a new album out too. It's called Okay Human, which I think just came out or it's about to come out this Friday.
A new Weezer album.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe we'll get that next time. I want to cover more newer albums. I think we definitely need to, we've been really 80s on the show, and I'd really like to go a little forward.
We'll wait to hear these suggestions.
You want to cover them now, or you want to just?
Yeah. Let's
okay. Go ahead.
And
all right.
Okay, so Get Your Yayas Out, Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
And these are off the Facebook page, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That I on my Facebook page. Yeah.
Okay.
Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Genesis. The Presidents of the United States of America. You remember that band?
Yes.
Peaches and
Peaches. Yes.
Yeah.
I think I played with them at was it Bamboozle or whatever? One of those.
Oh yeah, Bamboozle
festivals.
Fest. Yeah.
Bamboozle Fest. I think they were there when I was there.
Yeah, that's a suggestion. Tom Petty's Full Moon Fever. This is one I was considering. Blizzard of Oz, Ozzy, or Diary of a Madman, Ozzy.
That's solid. Yeah.
The Traveling Wilburys, Volume 1.
Listen to our show.
Yes, that's what I sent it. I sent them the link.
Oh, good job. Good job.
Here's another one I would consider too. I like this album a lot. Don Henley's Building the Perfect Beast.
You could do a solo show on that one. Not a Don Henley guy.
Wait, what was on that one? Was that Boys of Summer or?
Yeah. Boys
you two.
Summer, New York Minute.
End of Innocence or
and that's
before an Eagles
Innocence.
album? Before an Eagles album? Come on, dude. Come on. There's yeah.
And then you got
Don Henley's great.
No, yeah. Eagles are great.
And the Who's Next.
Okay. I think I have that album. Yeah, I would love to cover that one. That's a good one.
So why don't we do that one next week?
All right. We're doing it. We're calling it here on the show, guys. Folks, thank you so much. Before we go, we have a little musical thing for our birthday boy. I don't know if it's queued up and ready to go. You got it, Jay? All right, here we go. This is Happy Birthday, Jeffrey Paul.
Thank you.
We're gonna fade out with this. So bye everybody. Thanks for listening.